My beloved child, stop, right now, and listen closely, because this cannot wait until tomorrow, or next week, or some more convenient moment further down the road. Your soulmate needs you to know something, right now, in this very moment, not because anything is wrong, but because something true, something significant, deserves your attention today. I know the phrase, "can't wait," may sound urgent, my beloved child, and it is, but not in a frightening way, in a loving way, the kind of urgency that comes from genuine care, not fear. So breathe with me, settle into this moment, and let's uncover exactly what your soulmate needs you to understand. There is a reason you found this message today, my beloved child, rather than scrolling past it, rather than encountering it on some other, less receptive day. Something within you was ready, right now, to finally receive what's about to be shared. There are certain truths, my beloved child, that lose something essential if they're delayed too long, not because the truth itself changes, but because the moment of receiving it fully matters just as much as the truth itself. This is one of those truths. Your soulmate, my beloved child, needs you to understand something about the nature of this connection, something that will shape how you move through the remainder of your waiting, and I don't want you carrying unnecessary confusion or doubt for even one more day than necessary. Some messages arrive gently, with all the time in the world to be absorbed slowly. Others, my beloved child, arrive precisely because delay itself would cost you something meaningful. Today's message belongs to this second category, and that is exactly why it begins with such urgency. I have watched, my beloved child, how quietly doubt can settle into someone's heart when a truth like this one is left unspoken for too long. I don't want that quiet erosion happening to you, not when this message is available to interrupt it today. Consider how a single sentence spoken at the right moment can shift an entire conversation, while the same sentence, delayed by days, loses much of its power. Timing, my beloved child, is not incidental to truth, it is often woven directly into it. There is a reason certain realizations arrive precisely when they do, my beloved child, rather than earlier or later. Your own readiness to receive this exact truth, right now, has been quietly building, day by day, until this very moment finally arrived, ripe and ready to be shared with you. If your soulmate could speak directly to you, right now, my beloved child, here is what I believe they would want you to know, urgently, without delay. I am real. I am not a fantasy you've constructed to cope with loneliness. I exist, somewhere in this world, carrying my own hopes, my own healing, my own quiet longing for you, even before I know your name. This truth, my beloved child, matters more than it might initially seem. So many people, during long seasons of waiting, quietly begin doubting whether their soulmate truly exists, or whether the entire concept was simply wishful thinking. This doubt often creeps in slowly, my beloved child, disguised as practicality or realism, convincing you that perhaps you've been naive to hope for something this specific, this meaningful, this deeply fitting to your own soul. Your soulmate needs you to release that doubt now, my beloved child, not months from now, not after additional proof arrives, but today, in this very reading, because doubt, left unaddressed, has a way of quietly closing the very doors that hope keeps open. Imagine, my beloved child, how it might feel for your soulmate, wherever they currently are, to know that their existence, their reality, their genuine humanity, might still be doubted by the very person they're being quietly prepared to meet. This message exists partly to spare them that quiet dismissal, and partly to spare you the unnecessary distance doubt creates. You might wonder, my beloved child, why this particular truth couldn't simply wait for a gentler, less urgent moment to reach you. Because doubt, my beloved child, compounds the longer it goes unaddressed. A small seed of uncertainty, left alone for weeks or months, often grows into something far heavier, far more difficult to release later. You've likely witnessed this pattern in other areas of life, my beloved child. A small unresolved worry that, left unaddressed, gradually expands to affect far more than it originally touched. Doubt about your soulmate connection follows this exact same pattern, growing quietly until it eventually shapes your entire outlook if never directly confronted. This message arrives now, with this urgency, precisely to interrupt that compounding process before it takes deeper root. Think of it as tending to a small crack before it widens into something requiring far more extensive repair. A small doubt, my beloved child, addressed today with genuine attention, requires far less effort to release than the same doubt, allowed to grow unchecked for months, eventually requiring significant, deliberate healing work to finally dissolve. I want to be honest with you, my beloved child, about what happens when a truth like this one goes unheard for too long. Doubt begins quietly reshaping your daily experience. You become less open to signs, less willing to notice synchronicities, more inclined to interpret ordinary coincidences as simply meaningless. This shift, my beloved child, doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually, almost imperceptibly. Until one day you realize you've stopped believing altogether, without ever consciously choosing to give up. This message exists specifically to interrupt that gradual drift, my beloved child. While it remains easy to correct, catching a pattern early, my beloved child, always requires less effort than untangling it after it has fully taken hold. Notice, my beloved child, whether any of this drift already sounds familiar within your own recent experience. Perhaps you've caught yourself dismissing a coincidence you once would have paused over, or feeling more cynical about love than you did a year ago. Naming this pattern is often the first step toward gently reversing it. There is no shame in noticing this drift within yourself, my beloved child, simply the invitation, right now, to gently turn back toward openness before the pattern deepens any further. I want to address this directly, my beloved child, because it matters more than almost anything else discussed today. Your soulmate's reality does not depend on visible proof. Just as gravity existed long before anyone could explain it scientifically, your soulmate connection exists, real and active, regardless of whether you currently have concrete evidence in hand. Many truths, my beloved child, precede our full understanding of them by considerable time. This connection is no different, existing quietly and completely, whether or not the evidence has fully caught up to your conscious awareness yet. Signs, synchronicities, unexplainable feelings, these are simply gentle confirmations, offered along the way, but the underlying truth, my beloved child, was never dependent on those confirmations to begin with. It simply is, quietly and consistently, whether or not you're currently able to perceive it clearly. Consider the sun, my beloved child, continuing to exist behind thick clouds. Even on days you cannot see it directly, your soulmate's reality operates in much the same way, present and constant, regardless of whether the clouds of daily distraction currently obscure your view of it. Once you truly absorb this message, my beloved child, something shifts within you. The subtle, gnawing doubt that often accompanies long waiting begins to soften. You find yourself trusting the process again, not blindly, but with a grounded confidence rooted in genuine understanding rather than desperate hope. Consider setting aside just a few minutes today, my beloved child, free from screens, free from obligations, simply to sit quietly and reflect on what you've read here. This small pocket of stillness, however brief, may be exactly what allows this truth to fully land, rather than sliding past unnoticed alongside everything else competing for your attention throughout an ordinary day. This shift, my beloved child. Doesn't require months of practice. It can begin right now, in this very moment, simply through your willingness to receive what's being offered here today. Trust, once genuinely chosen, tends to settle in more quickly than most people expect, especially when the truth being trusted is this fundamentally sound. At this very moment, my beloved child, your soulmate likely feels a parallel urgency of their own. Perhaps they've been wrestling with their own doubts, their own moments of wondering whether love like this genuinely exists, or whether they're simply chasing an idea too good to be true. They may have had their own difficult season recently, my beloved child, one where old disappointments resurfaced, where cynicism briefly threatened to take hold, where the temptation to give up on genuine, soul-deep love felt stronger than usual. Their own version of this message, my beloved child, whether through a similar video, a conversation with a friend, or simply a quiet, internal realization, is likely reaching them around this very same time. This mirrored urgency reflects the true, connected nature of your bond. It is remarkable, my beloved child, how often two connected souls receive parallel messages, parallel nudges, parallel invitations toward trust, even while separated by distance and unaware of each other's specific circumstances. This synchronized unfolding is itself a quiet form of proof, worth noticing and honoring. Beneath much of this doubt, my beloved child, often lies an older wound, perhaps a past disappointment in love, a promise once broken, a hope once crushed that left you more guarded than you realized. This wound doesn't need to be named perfectly or analyzed exhaustively for healing to begin, my beloved child. Sometimes the simple presence of a truth this reassuring is enough to start loosening the grip an old wound has quietly held for years. This truth, arriving today with such urgency, is not simply informational, my beloved child, it is healing, gently addressing that older wound directly, offering reassurance precisely where it's needed most. You don't need to fully understand every layer of that old wound right now, my beloved child. Simply allow this truth to begin its quiet healing work, trusting that understanding will deepen naturally over time. Healing, my beloved child, rarely requires complete intellectual understanding before it can genuinely begin softening what once felt permanently hardened. Let's pause together, my beloved child, for a meaningful moment, right here, right now. Take a slow breath in, and release it gently. Let your shoulders soften, my beloved child, releasing any tension you may have been unconsciously holding while reading these words. Silently, in your heart, say these words. I receive this truth today, without delay. My soulmate is real. This connection is real. I release the doubt I've been carrying, and I choose to trust again, starting now. Sit with this truth for a moment longer. Notice any lightness, any relief, any quiet shift within your chest. Trust it, my beloved child. This feeling, however subtle, my beloved child, is genuine confirmation that something real has just settled into place within you. Don't rush past it too quickly. Allow yourself to simply remain here for another breath or two, honoring what just occurred. I want to caution you gently, my beloved child, against a common mistake many people make at this exact stage of their journey, waiting for more proof before allowing themselves to fully believe. This waiting, my beloved child, often becomes its own quiet trap. The longer you wait for undeniable proof, the more skeptical you may unconsciously become toward the very signs that would otherwise have offered exactly that confirmation. Proof, my beloved child, tends to arrive more abundantly once genuine belief is already in place, rather than the other way around. Waiting for overwhelming evidence before trusting often delays the very confirmations you're hoping to receive. Choose to trust first, my beloved child, and watch how the signs seem to multiply once you do. This is not magical thinking, but rather a simple reflection of how attention works. Once you're genuinely open, you naturally begin noticing what was quietly there all along, waiting patiently to be seen. Interestingly, my beloved child, once you begin genuinely receiving this truth, the people around you often notice a shift in your energy. A friend might comment, "You seem more at peace lately." A family member might mention feeling unusually hopeful about your future, without a clear explanation for why. You might even notice yourself smiling more easily, engaging more warmly in ordinary conversations, carrying yourself with a lightness that wasn't quite as present before today. These observations, my beloved child, often reflect exactly the internal transformation this message has been inviting you toward. The people around us tend to sense authentic shifts in energy long before we fully articulate them ourselves, offering a kind of outside mirror confirming what's happening within. Don't be surprised, my beloved child, if these comments increase over the coming days, as this truth continues settling more deeply into how you carry yourself through the world, shaping not just your inner life but the way others experience being near you. I want to clarify something important, my beloved child. This message isn't about revealing exactly when you'll meet your soulmate, or what circumstances will bring you together. It's about something deeper, more foundational, the simple, unwavering truth that this connection is real, regardless of the remaining details still unfolding. Many people mistakenly believe they need every detail mapped out before they can genuinely relax into trust, my beloved child, but trust was never meant to depend on complete information. It simply asks for a willingness to believe in the underlying goodness of the process, even while specific chapters remain unwritten. Let the mystery of the remaining details become something you hold with curiosity rather than anxiety, my beloved child. Not every question needs answering today for peace to genuinely take root within you. Once this foundational truth is firmly in place, my beloved child, the specific timing matters far less than it once did. Trust becomes the anchor, rather than anxious anticipation of exact dates. You can hold genuine excitement about the future without needing every detail spelled out in advance, simply because the foundation beneath that excitement has finally become solid. Beyond mental understanding, my beloved child, genuine truth often registers physically as well. A sense of exhale, as though you'd been unconsciously holding tension for far too long, a warmth spreading gently through your chest, perhaps even unexpected tears, not of sadness, but of relief. These responses, my beloved child, often arrive without warning, catching us slightly off guard precisely because they bypass our usual mental filtering. The body simply knows, and responds honestly, well before the analytical mind manages to construct a full explanation. If you're experiencing any of these sensations while reading this message, my beloved child, trust that your body has recognized something your mind is still catching up to fully processing. The body, my beloved child, often moves faster than conscious thought when it comes to recognizing genuine truth. Allow whatever sensation you're experiencing to simply exist, without rushing to analyze or explain it away. Sometimes, my beloved child, the wisest response to a physical confirmation like this one is simply quiet acknowledgement, rather than immediate intellectual dissection. I want to gently address the fear that often hides beneath doubt, my beloved child. Sometimes, doubting whether our soulmate exists is really a subconscious way of protecting ourselves from potential disappointment. If we never fully believe, the reasoning goes, we can never be fully devastated if it doesn't happen. This logic, my beloved child, though understandable, ultimately traps you in a kind of emotional limbo, neither fully hopeful nor fully at peace, simply guarded against a pain that hasn't even occurred yet. But this protection, my beloved child, comes at a steep cost. It closes you off from the very openness required to recognize and receive this connection when it finally arrives. Release this fear today, my beloved child, and choose belief instead. The temporary safety of guarded doubt is rarely worth the genuine connection it quietly keeps at arm's length. Ask yourself, my beloved child, honestly, what you might gain by finally releasing this particular fear. Often, the answer reveals just how much lighter, how much more open, life could feel once this old protective habit is gently set down. Of all the days you could have encountered this message, my beloved child, you found it today. This is not accidental. Whatever combination of circumstances led you here today, my beloved child, an algorithm, a friend's suggestion, simple curiosity, none of it changes the deeper truth that your own soul recognized something worth pausing for, right at this exact moment in your journey. Your own readiness to receive this particular truth, right now, played a genuine role in how this message found its way to you. Trust this timing, my beloved child. Even without fully understanding every mechanism behind it, the same intelligence guiding your soulmate's journey toward you is equally capable of guiding the exact right message toward you, at exactly the right moment. Having received this truth today, my beloved child, the days ahead will likely feel different, even if only subtly. You may notice yourself interpreting ordinary coincidences with renewed openness. You may find old doubts arising less frequently, or dissolving more quickly when they do appear. This shift, my beloved child, reflects the genuine integration of what you've received here today. Some days will still feel more uncertain than others, my beloved child, and that's entirely normal. The goal was never flawless, unwavering certainty every single day, but rather a stronger, more resilient baseline of trust to return to whenever wavering does occur. Give yourself permission to notice these small changes as they occur. My beloved child, rather than dismissing them as insignificant, each one confirms that today's message has genuinely taken root within you, rather than simply passing through as another piece of information quickly forgotten. I want to acknowledge honestly, my beloved child, that doubt may still occasionally resurface, even after today's message. This is completely normal, my beloved child. Receiving a truth once doesn't make you immune to ever questioning it again. What matters is having a reliable way to return to center whenever that questioning does arise. When it does, return to this simple phrase, one you can carry with you. My soulmate is real. This connection is real. I choose to trust, even now. Repeat this, my beloved child, as many times as needed, allowing it to anchor you back into the truth you've received today. Consider writing this phrase somewhere you'll see it often, a note on your mirror, a reminder on your phone, something to gently interrupt doubt whenever it attempts to resurface. As this truth continues settling within you, my beloved child, a quiet, steady confidence begins to take root. Let this trust settle into you now. My beloved child, carrying you forward through whatever comes next. Not loud certainty about every specific detail, but a grounded trust that carries you forward, day by day, through whatever remains of this waiting period. This confidence, my beloved child, becomes one of the most valuable gifts this message offers you, one you'll carry not only through this waiting season, but into the relationship itself once it finally begins. Others may notice this quiet confidence in you before you fully recognize it in yourself, my beloved child. It often shows up subtly, in the way you carry a difficult day slightly more gracefully, or respond to setbacks with a little more resilience than before. This kind of confidence, my beloved child, doesn't require external validation to remain steady. It exists quietly within you, a stable foundation you can return to regardless of what any particular day happens to bring. One day, my beloved child. You may look back on this exact message as a genuine turning point, the moment doubt finally loosened its grip, replaced by steady, grounded trust. Perhaps you'll share this story one day with your soulmate, my beloved child, describing the exact moment you finally chose to believe again, and they, in turn, may share a similarly quiet, meaningful moment of their own from around this very same time. Let today become that turning point, my beloved child, not through dramatic effort, but through the simple, sincere choice to receive what's being offered here, right now. Turning points, my beloved child, rarely announce themselves as dramatically in the moment as they appear in hindsight. Today may feel ordinary even as it quietly reshapes the trajectory of your entire journey. As we come to the true end of this message, my beloved child, I want you to carry this truth with you. Your soulmate needed you to know this today, without delay. Your connection is real, your soulmate is real, and the doubt you may have been quietly carrying no longer needs to weigh on you the way it once did. You received this truth, my beloved child, exactly when it was meant to reach you. Let it settle deeply, and carry you forward with renewed, grounded hope. This message, my beloved child, could not wait, and now that you've received it, neither should the trust you choose to carry forward from here. Let today mark the beginning of a steadier, more peaceful way of walking through whatever remains of your journey toward this beautiful connection. If this message resonated with you, like this video. Comment if this truth was something you needed to hear today, and subscribe to Hidden Blessings Message for daily spiritual guidance, soulmate signs, and divine messages sent straight to your soul. Until next time, stay open, my beloved child. This truth couldn't wait, and neither should your trust. Carry it with you, gently, into whatever the rest of today brings, and into every day that follows until this beautiful connection fully unfolds.